على من لا نبي بعده. So yesterday we talked about the hadith where the Prophet talked about how he made charity to someone who is having more iman than the other person he omitted, just to encourage him, one, and also to save him from hellfire, like to save the person from sin. That is not only while sharing something in the mosque or sharing anything. Sometimes when you see people are having wrong information about you, about something you do, it's best to clarify them to save them from sin. That's where they specified in the Muslim Prophet was sharing zakat, and he omitted someone that has iman. And one of the Sahaba, Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, was trying to remind him that this person has iman, so at least you should start from this person even if you want to share anything. The man's name was Ju'ayl. And when Sa'ad asked him about different people, he said, وَكَيْفَ Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas? He said, وَكَيْفَ Ju'ayl? So what about Ju'ayl? He said, if you have 100 people in this place, Ju'ayl is better than them. That was how high the level of Ju'ayl's iman is. The man limited. But you have to give it to those other Muslims that were not having higher iman, just to encourage them, one, two, to avoid them from saying bad things that will put them in hellfire. So it's best when we see people are having, you see there are things that people will do that will make them go into hell. It's best you call them away from it. Or you are doing something that you know people will have wrong information about. Like the Prophet, there was a time he was talking to his wife, one of his wives, that many people were not aware about. They were not aware of. They got married to that woman. So when people saw, they were Muslims, and they saw him with this woman, they felt like the Prophet having an affair with another woman except for one. So he just had them murmuring. So he called them. He would have just let them like, now them no made a talk where they not talk. No, that's not how it's Islamic. You save people from sin. So he called them and he told them that this is my wife. This is my wife. Introduce her to them so they know to save them from what? From sin. So that's how Islam is supposed to be. Now, and our bab today, bismillah, is Bab Salam min al-Islam. In another hadith, we say Bab Ifsha Salam min al-Islam. That spreading salam is part of faith. So, وقال Ammar, and Ammar, in another narration said, ثلاث من جمعهن, that three things, when someone is able to accumulate them, if you can do these three things, فقد جمع الإيمان, then he has attained Iman. He said, الإنصاف من نفسك, الإنصاف من نفسك وبذل السلام للعالم والإنفاق من الإكتار. The Bab talking about Bab Salam, that is, you spreading salam. I've explained salam before, spreading salam to everybody you know. Then, wal infaq min al-iqtar, you giving out charity, even while you are what? While you are not wealthy. You giving out charity out of poverty. When you don't have much, you can still give out. He said, if you can gather those three things, then you have attained Iman. You have been able to acquire Iman. So the hadith itself says, قتيبة قال حدثنا الليث عن يزيد بن أبي حبيب عن أبي الخير عن عبد الله بن عمرو وأن رجلا سأل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أي الإسلام خير؟ قال تطعم الطعام وتقرأ السلام على من عرفت وعلى من لم تعرف. So the hadith actually specified on the aspect to spread salam. So, and one of the hadiths that they use in bringing up this bab is when Prophet said, when Prophet was asked, he said, Ayyul Islam khayr, which Islam is best? Who is the best among Muslims? What makes a Muslim a better Muslim? What makes him the best among other Muslims? He said, Tut'imu ta'ana, it's for you to share food. And with what we understand from that bab, he specified that al-infaq min al-iqtar. That you share this, no matter your status, rich, you are poor, you share. So you give food out, you feed people. You feed people with the intention of sadaqah. You see someone who needs more than you, then you give them. Just like when I explained the other time, the Prophet was gifted a bucket of tamr, a basket of tamr. He shared it, felt this other Sahaba needed it most. Another Sahaba shared it, till it got to land and it came back to the last person, and last person was like, he loved the Prophet, he need this stamp, but he loved the Prophet that he wanted the Prophet to have it. For the love he had for the Prophet, so he passed it back to the Prophet. So this thing, there's an ironic fact about this thing. One thing is, when you do sadaqah, the thing you give, Allah in another way, Allah will times it back to you. In another way, that's one alama here. So the Prophet give to someone, just had his own way that it came back to him. That's one. Then two, when you give sadaqah, it's so one of the things that that increase your iman. Which is with food, you assist the poor without the person asking. It's not compulsory it might be a beggar, but your neighbor that you know, okay, they don't have meal, you just saw their condition, you can just assist. It's, oh, I know these people didn't work much today, or probably the students have not eaten for a while. Just take few cups of rice and give to the person. This is what Islam is talking about when we say ta'am. That's about especially in that haja, when the person needs it the most. Then the other one is, which is the main verb, وَتَقْرَوْ السَّلَامَ عَلَى مَنْ عَرَفْتَ وَعَلَى مَنْ لَمْ تَعْرِفْ. So he said, and you say salam to someone you know and who you don't know. I already explained salam. Why? Well, let me just give key points. And another part I did explain the last time we did, and hadith referring to salam. Salam, you have to say it. It's best to say it. That's the hukm for you to say it. Is when you say it first, you have a house in Jannah. There's a reward for it. I explained this with the issue that happened between Umar and Ali. Then, when you reply salam, to reply salam is not mustahab, it is compulsory. Mustahab is the one when you do it, you have reward for it. But when you don't do it, you don't have sin. So when you say salam first to somebody, definitely Allah has promised you that He will give you a house in Jannah. Just like what Ali told the Prophet when Umar reported him to the Prophet, he said that Ali no longer greets him, he waits for him to greet him first before he reply. And him is older than what Ali. And he said to the Prophet, Amma kult was Sohir al-Kabir. Did you say the younger one should greet the older one? Prophet said yes. Then he asked Ali, what happened? Why will you wait for Umar that you know is older than you to greet you first? And he said, Ya Rasulullah, O Messenger of Allah, that I heard you say in one certain time that Anna kult that did you say the other time that the person who says salam first will get a house in Jannah? Prophet said yes, I said so. And he said, yes, I want that house to be for Umar. That's why I wanted to say salam to me first, so you have that house in Jannah. So with that, you know that what? Salam, you say salam first is what? You'll be glad. One of the rewards you get is the house in Jannah. So, and what Islam is telling you, Badlu Salam, like what they call Badlu, Lughatan, waste. That's what it means in the hadith now is not waste, like just spread it without counting, just say salam to every Muslim you see. But not to a non-Muslim, not to a kafir. Now, and that's why I wanted to explain about that. Before I will talk about you saying it to someone who is not a Muslim, is saying salam isn't compulsory, but replying it is what? Compulsory. And it's supposed to be replied jahran. For instance, if we're in a gathering and just like this chef entered, if he says salam alaikum, if one person should answer him, he has covered all of us. That one person has what? Covered everybody in the mosque. But if he enters and you are the only person in the masjid, even if you are reciting Quran, you are doing dua, reply the salam. The only time you cannot reply the salam is the salah. And after salah, even if the person has left, you will reply the salam after you finish your salah. You must do that salam alaikum. It is compulsory. Prophet said, Raddu salam wajibu. Say, replying salam is compulsory. I know the Quran said, فَحَيُّوا بِأَحْسَنَ مِنْهَا أَوْ رُدُّوهَا. That's when you are bring greetings and ayah, it says either you greet, you reply with something better, or just reply it the way you were greeted. فَحَيُّوا بِأَحْسَنَ مِنْهَا, reply with something better, أَوْ رُدُّوهَا, or just reply with something with the way you were greeted. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, or wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Then you can do more, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Then the other aspect of which I'll end the explanation with is replying salam or saying salam to a non-Muslim. Number one, you can't say salam to a non-Muslim. Not allowed Islamically, you can do other greetings. Instead of salam, You greet. What Prophet is trying to tell us that we should be the type who greets people. Prophet was telling him greets to the extent he was greeting children. Children, he greets children. Why? He said to teach them about the deen. If you should call a child and start telling the child, say Assalamu alaikum, say Assalamu alaikum. It is not as easy for that person to say Assalamu alaikum to people than when you just tell the child, every time you see the child, Assalamu alaikum. Well, a day will come. Once he see you, the first thing that will come to his mind is to say Assalamu alaikum. This is something I've practiced. I practice with kids. Anytime they do something good, I'll tell them, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So anytime they see me outside, they'll tell me what? MashaAllah. Without even knowing the meaning. They just say, do what? MashaAllah. So when I find out that that's the way they pick words, I will then tell them, Jameel. And wallahi, they picked out Jameel too. When they see me, Jameel. Ustaz, Jameel. So these are when we teach you the deen. It's not all about you telling them, say this thing. No. You say it to them. They will learn it from you. Children are best at imitating than you saying it, you commanding them. They are not used to command. But when they see you doing something, like a father will come and say the child does not read Quran. Have your child see you reading Quran? So when he sees you reading, he will definitely take the Quran to read. Or this small boy does not pray. When you pray in his presence, you take him to mosque. This is how Prophet taught children the deen. So when you say it to the non-Muslim, which we are at, is you can't say it to a non-Muslim, but you should greet. You should greet them. Good morning, good afternoon. It does not matter who the person is. Just be there. As much as you know that when you greet the person, you are not going to get killed. You should share greetings to everybody. Now Imam al-Bukhari said you should say Sabah al-Khair, Sabah al-Nur. That say good morning, good afternoon, and the likes. But when the person says Salaam alaikum to you, then that's where you have differences. The person says Salaam alaikum to you. In the Arab, you have people who will say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Clearly. They will say it clearly. Imam Bukhari said, you reply them like that. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. In as much as you had it clearly that they said it correctly, you reply them the same way they give it to you. Not to bet something better. You reply them with what? The same way they give it to you. Because even in Nigeria, you see people that can actually say salam properly. While I was in the Catholic school one time, I had a colleague that can recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Because our house was very close to a mosque. But she's a Catholic. She can recite Surah Al-Fatiha, she can call Azan perfectly. As if she's a Muslim. So there are people that can pronounce salam. They said if the person should say salam clearly, you had it, Assalamu alaikum, they reply the person, Wa alaikum salam. But just like the normal, most majority that will say salam alaikum, just tell the person, Wa alaikum. Wa alaikum. Then during the Prophet, the Arabs then, some of the Arabs then, they do say it as a form of curse to him. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu means what? Death upon you. Because they know the Muslims say peace be unto you, they will say what? Death be unto you. So for that reason, that's why Prophet said it's best to just tell them wa alaik. That anything you say at all is also you too. Wa alaik. So you might not hear what to say. That's why for us to share good relations with the non-Muslims here, that you know they don't know Arabic and they don't mean to curse you, it's best to advise them that it's only Muslims that agree to what? Salam. But they want to learn it, they can learn it to teach them, but it's only Muslims that can agree to what? Salam. So that's the only time you can be able to reply them properly. You let them know that aspect and let them know the meaning and why. That's how it's done. So you tell them, if you say good morning, good afternoon to me, because you know they don't know it. So they won't say something, and when you say wa alaik, it becomes something else to them. So that's the rule in Islam. You don't say salam to a kafir, but when he says to you, you reply with what? Wa alaik. If only you hear the salam clearly, then you reply the same way the person replied to you. But when it's a Muslim, it is compulsory to reply with either the least you can do is to reply the same way the person gives to you, not with something lower. The same way you give to you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Then assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam or wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Either the same thing or what? With something better. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy on us and make it easy on us to practice the deen. So these are the two things that when you do them, it makes your iman.